This is Courtney with Rocky Projects. That I've been wanting to do for a while. We're gonna do a flip through for a year in the life, or what was supposed to be a year in the life. It took up so much room. This is actually only 6 months. So I've wanted to do this for a little while. I'm really in the mode right now of using up a bunch of my scraps. And so I'm gonna have to list all the ones that I've used below, but I used a bunch of different Echo Park papers. I used some stamps. I had some Winnie the Pooh paper that I needed to use, all these papers that I really love and have been holding on to. Each month is a different set of papers so that I could use up a bunch of my scraps. And I would have to make a second one in order to get all the way through 2025, but seeing as it's November, I feel pretty good that I'm set up for at least January through June to start with. I started with coffee on the front. This is, I believe, Coffee and Friends, and I think that's an Echo Park paper too. If you've met me once, you know that I live by coffee. Like, life happens around me. Coffee helps. So my entire life revolves around coffee, it feels like sometimes. I grew up outside of Seattle. I really can't be caught without a cup of coffee. My day doesn't start till I have one. And so the outer portion of the album, again, I haven't quite finished out what I wanted to do. I couldn't quite decide what I wanted to do on the inside here, but the front cover is Coffee Helps, and the rest of the cover will also be Coffee Help themed. I'm just not there yet. So this is a Simple Stories flip book, or snap book, I believe. I used some of their pages, but what you'll notice is, so this one is definitely one of their pages they provide as a 4x6 in here. Actually a little bit bigger. I like to cut it 6 inches and I believe 3/8 and 4x3/8, if I remember right, is what I actually like to cut the set at. But I also created some of my own pages in. I know that I believe Doodlebug came out with one and they have pocket pages for you, which is wonderful, but this is what I had on hand, and again, I'm trying to use what I had on hand. I also created my own pages, and so I like the idea of just kind of a half page. So I had a lot of extras. I usually make a whole bunch of scrapbooks for my staff members at the end of the year, and so I always have a bunch of these pages laying around. So I took one of the standard big pages, cut it in half, so that each month is a little half page. So again, every month is a different set of paper, but a lot of these stamps that you'll see going throughout are pretty standard. From Lail by Mail, they do months. They have a month in review. I have just kind of the standard set. I love all the papers that are in here, and I had so many scraps. I really just wanted to use what I had. So this is set up. This one's a photo mat here. All of these half pages are pockets, so if I wanted to, I could put some memories and things. So this is January, month in review. I've got a bunch of tuck pockets in here. I'm not a huge chipboard person, so I always have a bunch of it, and actually after making this album, I don't mind the chipboard as much. I really like these chairs that they had in the set, and I never use them. I'm also a fan of around wintertime pinstripes. I love that. So this is a tuck with just a belly band. Couldn't think of the word there. So belly band across with a little chipboard on it. I used the Lail by Mail stamps here so that as I went through, like, maybe these are good things that happened, maybe these are things that I want to remember, maybe each one of them is labeled with a little picture that I'm going to tuck in here as well. Again, there we go, be careful there. I like a good little saying. I put some stickers on the outside of the page protectors as well. Photo mat. What I liked about this is, obviously over here I've labeled this like these are my faves for the month. For me, it usually is favorite drink, what I'm listening to, what my favorite, like, maybe podcast is. So listening to would be music, podcast would be maybe learning about, maybe what I'm reading. I'm not usually watching something, I'm almost always listening to something, so it'd be different kind of faves. But what I liked is, yes, these are photo mats, but if I really wanted, I could write on these. So let's say I'm really big into journaling right now. That's something I could do. And again, I created this page by myself, and these are more either photo mats or more spots to journal if I really wanted to. Also, by the way, for anybody who's watching, his name is Norman. This is after one of my cows that I have here on the farm. All right, headed into February. Again, mail by mail, February stamp here, and then using what I had, this is still my favorite alphabet set, and it's so old, it's probably from Michael's. Again, this one is a little pocket if I really wanted. I have another belly band here. I like to tuck some random things. Sometimes I collect stickers and maybe I'll put a sticker there. A little photo mat. I used some of the stickers that I had, and so this flips up. It is February, so I have this winter themed, but I really liked the idea of, I believe this one is a mail by mail sticker, and then, I apologize, a stamp, and then I had another stamp set. So it's February. I'm not a big affectionate person, but maybe things that I loved, and then another heart stamp, and then things that I loved, or things I did with people that I love, or with my animals. It's more than likely for me it's gonna be with my animals, and then you can put a photo here, but I would fill that in as I go, so a little journal spot. Again, using what I had. I could do something else with this, but I really just I like a big photo sometimes. This would be a tuck spot. This is a chipboard on the outside of the paneling, and again, a photo mat. I love birch trees. Where I live, we do have some river birches, and so I used, again, what I have on hand. I have some just random cards because I make cards occasionally. I guess that's not that random. But what I liked is that when these open up, photo mat, great, but then leaving these blank, I have journal spots. And so what I kind of thought through, and I didn't fill it out because who knows by February what I will actually want to do, but something I loved this in February. I go to some winter market and things, so maybe I want to do that. Use a little heart separator. Plot twist, something that went wrong. Last February what went wrong is we had a water line break. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, but winter in Illinois usually brings plot twists. So spots to journal and spots for pictures. Moving into March, this is a whole bunch of flowers. Again, where I live, March isn't really time for flowers yet. We don't actually see things start to bloom until May. But this is actually what convinced me to use it. I love a good winter boot. And so I just had some papers left from this one. So again, this is a little by mail stamp. This is March. It's just a photo mat. Stick maybe something on there or journal with it. I photo matted again. This one, so this is a pocket on the outside, and I just put a little die cut on there, and then I could photo mat on the inside as well. I have a little belly band for a tuck spot here, and again, see, like I talked about, watching, listening, and reading. And so I use the stamps as a way to just kind of list out, and so these are a couple different spots to list what I'm really liking at the time. Tuck it into this belly band here. And then more spots for photos. I'm a good big photo person. Okay, moving into April, I know that this paper set is called Plant Lady. I have had it for probably a year and a half, if not 2 years. I've been too afraid to use it. I'm absolutely in love with this paper set. I will actually probably buy it again just to make sure I have it on hand. I had so much fun doing April. I had fun doing all of it. But sometimes when you really, really have been looking forward to using a paper, it just makes the whole thing way more enjoyable. So this is April. I've got a little tuck spot here. I keep my plants to myself, which I love. I'm a keep my plants to myself too kind of lady. Again, this is just a half sheet. Well, not a half sheet. It's cut at about 4 inches of pattern paper. And again, it could be a tuck spot here, photo matted, and then I decided to kind of try and play around, and so I made this paper, this sheet in here, and I glued a couple of envelopes together. So I really loved this picture, or this graphic, and I loved it on all these different ferns and some, you know, monstera leaves. But I wanted to do more with it. So opening it up, the first envelope, like, keep it up. April for me is really when things start gearing up for the year, and so I know that I'll want to maybe talk about some things that are going on, things that I gotta keep doing, things that I did really well this month and I wanted to keep going. And so I did that. I've got a spot here for more journaling if I'm interested, or obviously photos. Okay, I laughed out loud at this and I couldn't not put it in. Summer is so not close for us in April. We still got a couple months here in Illinois, but summer is coming. I'm so excited. I wet my plants. I laughed out loud, and so I had to put it in there. It just made me too happy. So just a couple a couple cards stuck together and put in. Probably should have done a ribbon, but I bet I could hide a magnet in here in a little bit if I really wanted to. And then coming over here, advice from a cactus, and this is as I used to live in Arizona, so this is great. Advice from a cactus: get plenty of sunshine, conserve your resources, and stay sharp. In trying to use a whole bunch of my paper up, it was a challenge for me because my go-to is always just black paper. This one's brown, but is always just a black cardstock. I refer to myself as a black ray of sunshine, or a little black ray of sunshine. Black can be a happy color too, but I tried so very hard to stay away from black artisan, but get plenty of sunshine made me giggle. All right, this is not an old paper. These were not scraps. This was, I fell in love with the Winnie the Pooh paper, and I believe this is the Echo Park Winnie the Pooh. So they have a map in here of the 100 Acre Wood, and this is one that I made myself. So they have a map of the 100 Acre Woods. What I did is I used, again, envelopes that I had. Oops, and now I've lost a piece of paper in here. There it goes. I used envelopes that I had, mounted 3 of them at different heights, and created 3 little tuck spots. But if you really pay attention, the map here actually matches up and is kind of just a pop-up of the map that is behind it. So I tried to make those match up. And again, these are all little tuck spots. These could be journal spots, they could be photo mats. And then May, and May is such 3 letters, it's hard to make look significant. I guess I could have used bigger alphabet, but that's okay. I like this writing. May, and so then I put month in review. So again, we're going into the 100 Acre Wood, some photo mats. I loved this sticker of Winnie the Pooh, and so I put it on the outside. I also used this tag on the outside here. Some journaling, a photo mat. It never hurts to keep looking for sunshine. Again, black ray of sunshine. I'm not Eeyore because I'm a pretty happy person, but I feel you, Eeyore. I get that. Again, some of these just make me laugh. I wasn't gonna eat it. I was just gonna taste it. My dog, that's my dog. Just a little kiss. Just gotta do a little taste. I decided to use rabbits for May, and that's, May? Yeah, we're in May. I decided to use rabbits for, well, rabbit in the 100 Acre Wood, and then I just decided to do 3 different pieces here. I guess I could label this with whatever I end up in April. No, I could label this whatever I end up doing in May, whatever I want to put here. This is one that I cut this to size myself, and I really wanted to try a technique that I haven't done in a little while, and so I pulled out ribbon. I never use ribbon. There's so many people that love ribbon, and I'm so bad about using it. So, oh, hello. Velvet, kind of sticky. So I did manage to use ribbon there. I didn't remember on the other part, but I did here. I wonder what's going to happen exciting today. I mean, I love, they're all pulling Winnie the Pooh. I grew up watching Winnie the Pooh, so I really love this paper. So I've got 2 either photo mats. Well, I suppose the pattern paper could be photo mats, and then the back sides could be labeling or talking about memories with the photos, and then I opened it up into a full fold. Sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in our hearts. And so May is when I really start working with a lot of kids and a lot of summer camp kids here on the farm, and they always do the sweetest things for you. So this will be a good spot for me to write down all of those memories. And I'll tie that up later because you don't want to watch me tie a bow. It's embarrassing. And then I used a little pop-up here. And I have another little tuck spot here. Alright, last one for this journal, or for this, last one for this album. Again, this was a year in review, but this album only held about 6 months, so I'll have to do 2 of them together. This is I think this is Echo Park as well. Apparently I'm an Echo Park girl, that's all cool. Again, they just make me giggle. Not a lot of things resonate with me with cut aparts all the time, but Part in the Weeds, I'm feeding the bees, made me laugh. And so we've got June here. I have a lot of bee paper for whatever reason. It's probably because I like flowers, and so I have a lot of flower paper as well. I want a bee stamp, and so I left this blank because I want to stamp the bees. I think I have a bee stamp somewhere, I just couldn't find it, and so I didn't get to it, but this is going to have bees on it. And I use some color inks, but for the most part, I'm a little black ray of sunshine, so I use black for the most part. This is a tuck one as well. I don't very often use the black and yellow. I'm a Seahawk fan, not a Steelers fan, and so this just screams Steelers to me. But again, we're using our scraps. We're using all the things that we have. Mind your own beeswax. Again, I'm that kind of person that is funny to me. And so we've got 2 photo mats here, and then rounding out with a little pot of honey, and again, a little separated spot. I put honey jar here because June is kind of a time when our garden starts to grow, and I thought I could put some sweet things that are coming out of the garden. So that was just a quick flip through of my first 6 months setup of my album for 2025. Hope you enjoyed.